Noto, our boy, our guy, has not bought since June. He was doing really small little 12, 13, 14, 15,000 purchases. Nothing extravagant, but it made people excited as he was DCing from 9 to 6. Then he just stopped. And then he started purchasing at $4.30. Let's start off with you, Steven. What was your initial reaction to seeing that buy, and how do you kind of analyze it?
Anybody who takes his on anything but bullish is crazy. I mean, you want your directors and your senior leadership to purchase shares. It's very bullish. I mean, the guy increased his shares by 29% or so. And I'm sure Tannor has a chart on everything. But you look at how many shares he's purchased. This guy has put over $8.8 million of his own capital into the stock. So it's big, very bullish, very happy about it. But you know what? Just because he's buying doesn't mean it's going to go up. So everybody should remember that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I do have a chart for that, and I want to show it off. I got the numbers ready and they're updated and everything like this. So actually, why don't I just jump right into that? Yeah, I saw someone on Seeking Alpha. I forget who it was. Maybe it was Stone Fox or whatever their name is. Hopefully I'm, quoting that right. But he said something along the lines, which I thought was great, which there's countless, reasons to sell a stock if you're an insider. Plenty of different ways. It's really hard to read into that. But there's only one reason to buy, right? It's because you believe that stock's going to go up into the future. And I just love that reason. Whenever you see a large purchase like this, I mean, you can't help but get excited. Let me go ahead and throw up this sheet right here, and we can take a look.
Okay, so here we go.
Oh, let me scroll down a little bit, or maybe I can zoom out, whatever works best here. But pretty much these are all of his purchases. I started to, whenever you're looking at March and in May there, obviously those weren't one-time purchases. I just sort of conglomerated them for the single image. And then he was doing, constant buys in June, and then we didn't see anything for 6 months. And now we're seeing massive purchases in a couple of days, purchases that were bigger than, single months that he's been purchasing. Right.
Yeah. Honestly, it's just, before you go on, can we just have a public thank you to Greta Traderberg for just triggering Noto hard enough that he just starts buying again?
Well, let's not forget, he got a pretty nice payout from Twitter. So
yeah, that too.
He's saving on quite a big amount of capital.
Yeah, I mean, are we sure that he sold? Because there was the option that Elon Musk said where you could roll over, the shares into the private side of Twitter.
I don't think Noto is confident in Elon Musk at all, to be honest.
I did not know that, so I take that statement back. He may have done that.
So, and then I also don't know if there is a partial sale that's allowed. Maybe you can sell half, roll half over, because if that's the case, he was holding on to 124 million. But as you can see, Noto is quite the dollar cost averager, right? He will buy over a long period of time. So it's not uncommon for us to see him buy 3 times in 4 days. What's going to happen for the next month or next couple of months as we go into the next quarter? While this whole student loan debacle is in, making our stock really cheap, he could be continuously buying if he does have access to, $100 and something million. If it was a partial sale, maybe he put it all in right now, or this was maybe from something else. I don't know his personal life. I don't know about his other investments. He's definitely made a buttload of cash during his Goldman Sachs days and everything like this. Just for anyone that wants a little bit of a background, I think he made $75 million on a single deal. Closing a private deal that I found on his wiki or whatever. So he's definitely seen some heavy payouts. Let me go back to this chart really quick, just so it doesn't have to stay up on the screen. This is Noto's total value, 23.6 million. That's as of today's price on the stock. That's not just all the stock that he's purchased today, or even that he's purchased with his own money. That's all together. That's all the shares that he has under his name. How much he bought recently, that's in bold, is 5 million. And like Steven said, it was an increase of 28%, almost 29% of his total holdings Absolutely crazy. So, yeah. Anything else before we drop that out?
Yeah, if you just look at 2022, he's made 18 purchases in 2022 alone. He has, if I tallied everything up correctly, 1.61 million shares he's purchased in 2022. He spent 8.3 million.
Yeah, crazy.
Tevis, what were your thoughts? I don't think you said anything yet about it.
I mean, think about your portfolios, guys, and think about one day increasing 29% of your holding like that. That's a huge buy. Just relative to that total sizing, that's the part that I found super interesting, is that he was buying pretty much like every week from the beginning of the year all the way until June. And then the velocity with which he bought this many shares in just 3 days or 4 days, he increased it by almost 30%. That was something really interesting. The other point that that I found, actually, we can circle back to it, but for right now, I think that's the main thing that I found that was interesting, is like how much he bought relative to the total sizing, how quickly he did that, especially after being on a 6-month hiatus.
Right. Yeah. And I feel like it definitely shows that he probably did get a lump of cash because of the Twitter deal, because he didn't make, a single purchase in 6 months. But maybe he was also waiting for clarity on, what's going to happen with student loans or whatever. Or maybe he just saw a great opportunity at such a low price. We're looking at below book value, extremely close to tangible book value. I don't know. Maybe he just wants a good deal. I don't think there has to be a big catalyst,
Well, think about
Anyway, I'm
it.
gonna
He
drop
was
this here.
purchasing shares at 973. He purchased shares at 785, at 650. He's
Yeah.
purchased shares the whole way down. And under $5, you would think that he took the opportunity to dollar cost average even further into it. And I don't know the guy, but you got to think that he's not going to put that type of capital to work if he really doesn't believe that the share price is going to turn. I mean, he didn't get to the point he's at by making critical decisions incorrectly.
I also, we can pivot to this as well, but like, I also found the timing interesting, in particular to what's been going on with SOFI with regards to the options release. And then, the Form 4 came out, I think, on Tuesday after the market closed. And then the next day, buy now, pay later, or pay in 4 was released. And the first thought that I had, obviously, was with regards to like what I just said, the size, but also I was thinking about, and I'd love to bring it to the group, whether there is some type of MNPI implications here. I mean, I know he's buying on the open market, but there is a lot of launches that SOFI has been really looking forward to. And I found it funny. Just Form 4s came out. He bought a couple of days before the Pay in 4 comes out, before the end of the year. So, I don't know if there's any point to be mentioned there.
Honestly, I think they're such tiny products. I think Galileo's product is big. I don't know if SOFI's Pay in 4 product will be, nearly as big. I think there's a lot of products that get launched on SOFI that get no coverage at all. Like, I'm pretty sure SOFI, they started doing same day personal loan funding. That is massive, for our biggest product to get a twice the speed on the availability to capital. Like, that's going to lead a lot of new growth. And that happened this quarter. I think there's a lot of things like that, like small tweaks to existing products that get no love because there's not this big announcement, right? They're just tweaking, but they are big tweaks. And who knows? It could have been that. It could have seen a large amount of increases because maybe they're seeing great personal loan growth, which I'm sure is the case.
So before we get into the buy now, pay for stuff, I want to pose this question to everybody. Do we think there's still a chance of a reverse split? Because obviously, if a reverse split were to happen, we would drop another 20%. That just happens across the board, even though it doesn't really affect the fundamentals of the company. So Noto would be kind of dumb, right, for buying at $4 when theoretically the price would go down to, let's say, $30 if we have a 10-for-1 reverse split and it goes down $10 from 40 to 30. So do you think that he's very confident that there's just not going to be a need for that, and that's why he purchased now? Because it's a big buy.
Yeah, I mean, reverse split. I think they're two separate things. Like, it's a board decision, number one, and then Noto has been buying at like $9, $10, $7, $8, $4, $5, $6. Like, he's just DCAing, and I don't think that he's going to be, playing the game theory in his head to say, oh well, the psychology of reverse splits, blah blah blah. I mean, I don't think that's a factor in the slightest.
But it's not game theory. It's if there's a reverse split, the stock will tank. That's going to happen.
Can we all agree that Noto's not buying for the short term? He's not buying to sell in 2 weeks from now or a month from now?
Yes. But if there's a reverse split, he could get his shares at $3 versus $4, which is substantially different.
Hold on.
It's $1.
If we can agree that he's not buying for the short term, a reverse split doesn't matter, because maybe it goes down after reverse split, maybe it doesn't. Okay.
No, it is. No, Steven, it is. There's no way. You think this market's not going to tank at 20% after a reverse split?
Maybe it will. We'll see after it happens, if it happens. But at the end of the day, it changes nothing. The market cap's still going to be the same. Upon the reverse split, the market cap is the same. You have less shares, but you own the same percentage. Your shares represent the same percentage of the company as it previously did.
That's fine, but you've been in here long enough to know when the reverse split happens, the market tanks the stock. So why would he buy it if he knows he can get it for $1 cheaper? Like, if SoFi declines naturally down to $2-3 over the next couple months, it's whatever. But if you do a RS, it's gonna happen. And if he knows there's an RS, why would he buy his shares for $1, $2 above what it could be in the next 2 months?
But he also
it just makes you think.
But he doesn't know where the share price is going to be next week or the week after.
Right.
And he doesn't know where it's going to be after the next quarter's earnings. Q4 earnings are going to be probably February 1st or so. Reverse split, if it happens, it can happen in the spring. They have until July to do it. So I don't think it matters.
Yeah, when is the due date? That's something I wanted to look into. But
when they authorized it was authorized for a year. So whenever that shareholder vote was, it was June or July.
Right. Okay. Yeah, because I was wondering if anyone had that date. So if it was around then okay, we still have a little bit of time.
I mean, do I want it to happen? No. In a perfect world, I'd rather endure 3 years of pain and have them start generating earnings and start buying back shares down the road instead of doing a reverse split. I'm in this for the long haul, so I'll take single-digit prices for years and years to come out the other side. I don't care, but not my decision.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't care either way. Like, I know it might dip down in the short term, and maybe his purchases show that's not going to happen in the short term. But also, the Fed could come out and smoke the market, and then they might be forced into a reverse split before, he can't predict the future, even with the reverse split that he controls. So
everybody has to be ready for this to go down. Like, this could go to $3. Anybody who thinks, oh, it can't, I didn't think it was going under 10, and it did. So look, this can go further. You look at other companies, look at PayPal. Look how much PayPal has gone down. That's not a profitless tech company. They're down 72% or so. So,
Stephen, I mean, you can promote your article at the end of the podcast.
That's why I used it. Look, okay, Meta. Look at Meta, how much Meta is down. Not a profitless tech company. So if I can go down further, I think everybody just has to take it in strides and don't invest if you don't believe in the company. It's as simple as that.
I put Steven's new article in the chat. Everyone should go check it out. A nice read on PayPal.
Oh, thank you.